need you back in Santa Cruz. Come on.
Hey boys and girls, welcome to Issues 2010, that great political talk show that's sure to make you want to get out and vote this year. And you know what? We're just a couple weeks away from election time, and I sure hope you're registered to vote because we got a heck of a couple candidates running for governor right now. We got that Meg Whitman character, and you know what? Yeah, you know, if she wasn't so negative through this whole campaign, I'd probably think a little highly of her. And if she wasn't a Republican with backings of my hero Cheney and Rice and all those losers, you know, I might have thought about it. You know, Meg, if you were an independent, you'd win hands down right now. It would have been a no-brainer for all of us. But you had to be a Republican, didn't you? And then on the other side of the coin, we have Jerry Brown, a delinquent in his entire life, still a delinquent, hasn't done anything right, but he's a Democrat and he's going to win in California. So there you have it. What a choice. And I so wish, people, if you haven't registered, you got a couple of seconds to get out. Please register some third party. If you were saying, I don't want to have anything to do with this election, now's the time. Go out, register third party, vote for the third party. At least we're showing we're trying to make a change. We're trying to get rid of business as usual. And that's what it's going to take. All of you out there that are chili heads, that aren't into politics and don't want to vote this year, please vote third party. Third party, come on. That's the only way we're going to be able to make a difference down the road and we got to start now. And all you chili heads can do it for me. And now, you know, let's talk about some world news, huh? Here you are, a big aluminum manufacturer, and you've got 100,000 gallons or 100 million gallons of sludge, toxic sludge, sitting in a reservoir that's never going to go away. What are you going to do with that? You know, all the neighbors are pissed that you got all this sludge just sitting there. Well, you know, Mother Nature has a way of curing all evils. If BP can do it in the Gulf, why can't the aluminum factory do it in Hungary? And so let's blow up that reservoir and spill the sludge all over and waste Europe. Hey, that's only going to be a couple $1 million in fines. They're going to file bankruptcy and they got rid of the sludge and they still got contracts to build more sludge. They had to do something with it, so get over it already. Just get over it. And now, I've been talking about it since I started this show. We are here at the 10th year of the Afghan war. And where are we? Same place we were when we started. They're not taking any of our crap. You know, they're running and hiding and we're blowing it up. And then they come right back and let's negotiate with the Taliban. After 10 years, what are we doing? We're negotiating with the Taliban. Well, $800 billion, each one of you at home has to cop up at least $12,000 to pay for that. I hope you do it soon because China's going to come and collect. And if you don't have that $12,000, they're going to take your home and take all your belongings and put you in a concentration camp out in the desert. So just wait for that. It's around the corner. And speaking of the war, I've got a guest all the way from the Army Reserve headquarters or the Army Recruiting headquarters in Washington, D.C., New York City, Mr. Corporal P. Punishment. And how are you today, Mr. Punishment? I think we're getting link up now. There, we have link up. I'm sorry, Mr. Punishment, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing quite well, thank you. Thank you, Sandra Lake. We're happy to be on your show.
Well, it's just a real pleasure. You know, with the wars winding down in Iraq, and I hear so much stuff about the recruiting process and maybe starting up the draft again, and this is a great opportunity to talk to you firsthand. And just how is the recruiting thing going now?
Well, actually, it's going quite well, and we're the biggest employee right now, it seems, and we employ more people than anyone, and with our outreach programs into the high schools and employing civilians in other parts of the world for our golf courses and our GI clubs and stuff. Yeah, it's actually we're doing real good.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. And now I guess with the Iraq war, you know, we got at least 100,000 troops that are going to be able to come home, I think. Are they all being shipped off to Afghanistan?
Well, a lot of our boys actually have decided to go back for another tour. It seems that they would rather be with their comrades, and actually nothing seems quite different when they come back here than being there. They kind of started that they make a difference.
Oh, very good. I'm glad our troops are making a difference. And so, if the war is going so finely, I bet the recruiting business as well. How is recruiting these days?
Well, the recruiting is up, and we're recruiting all over the world. And the high school diplomas are coming in. We do a lot with the Christian churches are sending us a lot of leads, and then we have Facebook and we have MySpace, and we get all the information on which video games they like and what kids are doing and all this information, and we know where they're at and what they're at, so we can target those recruitments. And then if we have to bring up the draft, but last time it was so bad because they protested, and that was not good, so we're trying to avoid the draft.
That's really good. Now, I hear there's a lot of positions overseas, and we're trying to fill some of those. How exactly are we doing that?
Well, you can go on your computer and you can find jobs if you're not part of this country, but if you're from another country, you can get jobs, like I said earlier, with our services. If you're a musician, or we need golf courses, people attendance, hotels, and our retreats around the world. And as we grow and grow more, we're going to need more and more.
So the service industry is well in the Army. Well, that's good to know. People out there, you need a job, join the Army and get a service position 5 times better than the position you could have got at Walmart. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Corporal P. Punishment. And so glad to talk to you, and I wish you nothing but the best in your wars. And so what's that I hear? What? We got another satellite broadcast coming in? What's that, Mr. Producer? Well, my goodness, it's Dallas H. Texas Chili. Dallas, how the heck are you? What's up, buddy? Well, hey there, Spilly. So glad to be here again via satellite all the way with you out there in California. Y'all, how y'all doing out there? It's been such a long time. Well, I'm here today for a very special reason there, Spilly. I'm here to start the Jeb in 2012 campaign. I think it's very important after what I heard you talking about out there about Sarah Palin being the only GOP candidate available. We can't have none of that Sarah Palin stuff. You know, she's a Yankee from Alaska, and us people down here in Texas ain't going to tolerate any of her bull crap, if you know what I'm saying. She's just a piece of crap, if you ask me, shooting buffaloes and scraping up them buffalo turds and cooking a stew out of them. And that's what I think about Sarah Palin. Now, we gotta support Jeb in 2012 is what we got to do. Now, if we want to have that new world order we were talking about, we got to have Jeb, because that's the only way we're going to get it. And America's just not going to work until we get somebody in charge that knows what they're doing with a family background that goes all the way back to the early 1800s in our country. That's what we got to do here. Well, what about Obama then? You know, I thought the last time we talked to you that you were really hip on Obama and what was going on with his policies. Well, that Obama guy, you know, he's okay. He's done a lot for us Republicans. He's made us all look very well and very handsome, and we're going to do really well this election cycle. Spilly, you know, that Obama guy, he ain't all that bad, I suppose, for us Texans. You know, he came out here and let those BP guys get away with everything, and they got that guy in charge. I think his name's Scrooge or something. They ain't going to pass out any money to any of those people down there in Louisiana. So I think our oil business is going to be just fine. Thank you very much, Billy, for asking about that. Now, come on. Sarah Palin isn't that bad, Dallas. It can't be that bad. There's always a bright side to this. And you know, with her daughter being on Dancing with the Stars, she's a shoo-in. Now, come on, Sarah Palin. Who in the world's going to vote for Sarah Palin? We got to vote for Jeb in 2012. Sarah Palin and her daughter, well, I don't even know about that son-in-law. He's something else too. And all those people, can you just imagine what our White House would be with Sarah Palin in charge of this country? Oh, good Lord. And all them tea people, you know what? Why don't you go back to Boston and throw yourselves in the lake there and to make some tea, because that Tea Party thing ain't going to float. What the heck are you thinking, you crazy people out there? We got to base the Republican Party on a true proven track record here with the Bush family. That's right, the Bush family goes way back to the early 1800s, and they've proven themselves to be true leaders in all circumstances, and the New World Order will survive if we have Jeb in 2012. Okay, thanks, Dallas, and we hope to hear from you real soon. I know election's just around the corner. Get out there and vote for your people out there in Crawford. Well, you guys, you vote out there in California now. You know, we're going to vote out here in Texas. And so you get out there and vote, and Meg Whitman, you know, she's got Cheney behind her, so you better vote for her, because Cheney's going to come and blow your asses up if you don't vote for her. I don't want to say any more about that, because we all know who Dick Cheney is. He'll blow my ass up if I watch it. I better watch myself. Anyway, see you later, Spilly. Well, that's Dallas, Texas chili. I don't know if you know what that H stands for, but that's Houston. That's Dallas, Houston, Texas chili, if you didn't know. And he's my cousin, and I'm so proud of him. He's one of a kind. And so let's get on with the show. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We were supposed to have a guest from the police department here, and they didn't show up. We were supposed to have some guests from the Stop the Rave Law thing show up, and they didn't show up. So my best friend Bobby and I, we're going to talk about all the crime going on, and we'll get right to that right now, and then stand by for Uncle Spunky Chunky Chili to wrap things up. Well, here we are with my favorite part of the show, where we get to talk about issues and what's going on around here. And what's going on around here is a lot of bullshit. We've gotten a lot of people burglarizing cars and homes, and it's just getting out of control. And I talked to the Santa Cruz police because my car was broken into just the other night. Somebody took my driver's license and wallet out of my glove box, along with about 50 CDs and my phone. And there's no money, no credit cards, nothing of any value. And I guess they just threw it out on the streets, and now I got to do a tap dance to get it back. So thank you for not throwing it in the trash, whoever stole it. And the police department has it. But my phone's gone with all my phone numbers and about $600 worth of CDs. And just the day before my burglary, my friend Bobby here had his car stolen from right in front of his apartment. They shimmied the door, crammed a screwdriver in the ignition, and took off with the car. And I guess a couple days before that, another friend of mine right there on Troutman at the 1010 Pacific Apartments had her car broken into, and they used the crowbar and busted up her whole dashboard, and just to get to a $100 stereo. And so all I gotta say is, you guys are fucking petty ass motherfuckers doing this shit. You know, there's no brains behind it. You're not getting anything for doing it. You know, those CDs that you stole from me ain't going to be worth more than $5 at the flea market together, since there's no cases. And the phone was useless to you. You made, what, $2 worth of phone calls, and then the phone died. So all you did was cause me a lot of stress, and you got nothing for it. So I hope you're really proud of yourselves. And I wanted the police department to be here to talk about that, but they're not, and so Bobby and I are going to talk about it. Bobby, what happened to your car, dude?
Oh man, it wasn't even my car. It was like my friend lent me a car for the summer because he needed a place to park it, and because he was working out of town. And I went out 9 o'clock. The last time I saw it, I parked it across the street from my house, and then I woke up went out there about 10 o'clock. It was gone. No glass or nothing. It was gone, man. And that was like, especially when it's somebody lends you a car, that's like really bad. Man.
That's painful, dude. That is just so painful. And so they probably went for a joyride, you know, because there's no paperwork. They couldn't do anything with the cars. What do you think? They could take it to Mexico and maybe get parts for it? You know, it was in pretty good shape, that car.
Yeah, it was in real good shape, and possibly what they'll do is they'll take it and chop it right here local in Watsonville or something.
Use it for
Salinas over
parts
there.
here, huh?
Yeah,
Sell
or
right
use-
back out to the dealers.
That's it, and then no telling, or else if 90% of that particular vehicle are joyrides that I guess they're real easy to jam a key in there and hit them real hard, and you can start them right up. And it's like now with all the technology and the movies showing how cool it is to jack cars and et cetera, and with the rich people up there, Santa Cruz is bragging the city councils and stuff on how rich they are now. It's only the rich people, and the poor people are going to start taking from the rich people, and then guys like us get caught in the middle of this crap that are just
Well, it's not
scraping
even
by
poor
here,
people
man.
though, Bobby. That's what's pissing me off, man. My daughter works at a donut store, and some jackass stole her tip jar, got it on
Yeah.
camera,
Yeah.
got the guy red-handed. We know who he is. We called the cops. The cops filed a report. We said, here he is. This is where he lives. Here's this picture on the camera. And they did absolutely fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Now, that's the sheriff's department. And I suppose it's the DA that's got to press charges on these people. But when you got the guy red-handed and you let him go, what kind of signal is that sending? Holy shit. And so what did the cops say they do for you?
Oh, and they're gonna because the owner's out of town, they have to wait for him to file an official complaint before they can put it on a stolen car thing. So he either has to ask the police in his area to give him a courtesy report and send it down here, or else he's got to come back into town, and he's way up in, at least $200 worth of just to come back here to file a complaint.
And in the meantime, they're doing nothing?
Well, in the meantime, I talked to the one officer, and he said that they would look for it, and if they found it, he would call me and tell me, where it was and stuff, and that's all he could do. So, I mean, it was at least, that was something. But, like I said before, this is an ongoing trend. It's happening everywhere. It's like, I got smacked in the eye at my bank the
That's
other
right,
day. Some
yeah.
guy hit me and broke my eye, man, and I was up there getting money out, and it's on the ATM machine, and it's on video through that whole parking lot, and the guy's car and everything went through there and everything. He got my credit card and put his fingerprints on it, and so I gave that to all the police, and so far I haven't heard nothing, and so it's like you wonder in all these
Once again,
things.
red-handed, video monitors in front of a bank, which is a federal offense, and they're doing absolutely nothing about it. And so here's what they're saying. We got this first alarm guy, and first alarm isn't bad. One guy on the streets, $10,000, $5,000, so he walks around, and what gets done with one guy, you guys? On any given day when I'm here at the TV station, I'm up at the phone and I look out at the street and I see 20 or 30 cop cars go driving by while there's fights going on with drunk people, bad drug deals going wrong, people's cars getting broken into, and you guys are just driving around. Get off your fat asses and walk the streets like it used to be. Now, I've seen it happen this summer. We've had a couple guys out there. And you know what? I take notice of those guys when they're out on the beat walking the street. I applaud those guys. Bravo. That's what it's going to take. If we got to put a goddamn cop on every corner until we get this problem solved, then do it. It ain't going to do any good driving around the fucking block. Didn't fucking help me. Didn't help Bobby. You ain't helping nobody sitting in your car. Now, granted, if you get a call and you need to go somewhere, you need a car. But to patrol downtown, get off your ass and walk. I'm not paying my tax dollars so you can drive around in an air-conditioned car. What the hell? You're supposed to be protecting me. I'm paying you. Come on, you guys. And I made a promise when I started this show that I was going to lay off you guys. But now it's getting dirty. It's hitting home. When I'm getting ripped off in a parking lot that's well lit with lots of traffic and there ain't nobody around, that's a problem. When there's other people getting ripped off daily now, it seems, and nothing's getting done. All right, you got my wallet. There's fingerprints on that wallet. Are you guys going to dust that wallet and see whose fingerprints are on there besides mine? No, that's too much trouble. So once again, when it comes time to actually catching and prosecuting these people, nothing happens. So what do they think? it's okay to do this crap because nothing's going to happen to them.
Unless their parents got a lot of bucks, or they got some pull somewhere, or then they go out of the way.
Well, it's all rich people
or
doing this
if
crap.
you have a lawyer that will get on their cases and make them, do their job, but otherwise
it's up to the DA, dude.
It just goes on, and the same thing when you turn in our public officials for violating their stuff. The same thing here at Community TV. We turn these people in. Nothing happens, man. Nothing happens to anybody. There's no ethics in politics right now, and so if everybody up there on the top's going to steal, it shows a message to everybody else. Hey, let's all go out and steal, man. And it's not cool. It's not cool. It's cool to be stealing nothing, man.
It's all going to come back and get you, man. Karma.
And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse as they take more and more of us, and they take it, and they want to get us fighting. This is probably all planned and shit, and that's
what they said about that whole graffiti incident, that they overlooked it intentionally so they could make a big stink about it later. Is that what's going on out there, you guys? Huh? Are you like closing your eyes and letting this crap happen so we can get more cops on the beat? How about we just get the cops on the beat working?
Yeah, and then the sheriff, man, you're the ultimate source for we, elected you, and you're letting our elected officials and stuff get away with breaking their constitution and their violation, their oaths, and that goes down to all the way not protecting the people on the streets. There's a lot of people out here that are just in a bad situation in a beautiful place, man, and it's not their fault. And with the Downtown Association's mindset on hassling no-income people up front anyway, we don't know who the hell the crooks are anymore, man. And they've been calling wolf on all this bullshit for so long.
Yeah,
now, when the shit really comes down, nobody's there because they've been crying wolf for nothing, man. And you tell me, they're the ones that we ought to run out of this town instead of these people that are trying to just play some music in town, and that's most of the people are getting harassed. Instead of going to the lawbreakers and stuff, they're out here making laws to go into the parking lot. Don't go in the parking lot. Don't do this. Don't do that.
It's a lot easier to harass an innocent person than to convict a criminal, and that's probably why they look so busy and they feel so important. But it's time that, you guys, we're looking at you. We're looking at you to take care of business. And letting this stuff go on and on isn't going to cut it, guys. So sorry I had to be like this, man. I'm behind you guys, the guys that came out. We need you. Don't think I'm saying bad things about you. I don't want anybody to hurt you. I don't want anybody to do anything bad. I just want you guys to step up, okay? Well, let's get on with the show. Here we go.
Don't take it personal, and let's try to
step
all
up.
get together.
That's all I'm saying. Step up right now when we need you the most. Let's get on with the show. Uncle Spunky.
All right.
Well, you know what really pisses me off this week, folks? All this crap that I keep hearing about Stonehenge. Well, let me tell you my story about Stonehenge. Some of you may have heard this one before, but for those of you that haven't, it's a tale that goes back centuries and centuries and centuries. It's about these guys who were fishermen. And one day they were drinking and they were out fishing, and their boat got caught in a storm. And this storm and the boat, they ended up drifting down towards Egypt, down that way towards Egypt, that place. And they crashed. And when they crashed, the Egypt people brought them out and showed them around, and they saw these beautiful pyramids, and they were like, wow, look how cool this is. How come we don't have anything like that in our country? And so the Egypts took care of these guys and put them back in their boat. Yeah, that's right. They went back in their boat and they sailed back to their country up in Ireland or Britain or wherever the hell that thing is. I don't even know. It's so wonderful. And so they got back there and they were sitting in the pub and they had a couple beers and they said, maybe we can build one of those pyramid things. It was really beautiful, those pyramids. And I'm sure if we all worked together, we could build pyramids right here outside the pub. So they had a couple more beers, and they went outside and started looking for rocks. And they found some rocks, and they started moving the rocks, and it was pretty hard work for these guys. And so they had a couple more beers, and they moved a few more rocks, and then they ended up with this beautiful creation called Stonehenge. And they said, wow, that's really cool. And it's almost as good as a pyramid. And we'll leave it at that. And so there you have it, folks. That's how they created Stonehenge, out of a drunken stupor and a trip to Egypt. Well, bravo, tally-ho, cheerio, ho, ho, ho. Good night.